Chapter 24 of Married Thrice to Salted Fish. On the day of Mid Autumn Festival, a side branch of the Lu clan, Nanan Hao's older half brother, brought his entire family from Linan to the capital. The two brothers have not seen each other for decades since they divided the family property and went their separate ways. Regardless of the actual relationship between the brothers on the surface, they still had to go through the motions. For the Mid Autumn Festival, the entire Hao mansion was busy from top to bottom. Only the two masters of the Blue Wind Pavilion could be idle. Shaojan couldn't conceal himself over such small matters, and young Master Hao hadn't been in good condition since the beginning of autumn. Before, he used to be able to walk about a bit, but now he was completely unable to leave his wheelchair and had to be pushed around by others to get anywhere. The head of the Lu clan's branch family sent word in advance, telling them the time of their arrival. When it was almost time, Lin Qingyu and Pan Shi went together with Nanan Hao to the gate of the mansion to greet the guests. They saw 5 or 6 luxurious carriages slowly approaching from the distance. Linan's Linan was a rich and prosperous place, and the Lu family was one of the most prominent households. The head of the family was Nanan Hao's eldest brother and Lu Wancheng's eldest uncle. After the two brothers met, they greeted each other politely with far more courtesy than affection. They then entered the mansion together, Lin Qingyu behind, with absolutely no interest in the whole matter. A good looking man then stepped forward to talk to him. This must be Lin Shaojun. Lin Qingyu didn't answer, and Pan Shi said, Shaojun, this is Master Hao's nephew, young Master Hao's cousin. I'm Lu Baishao. In our generation, I'm the 6th oldest in the family. If it doesn't displease Lin Shaojun, you can call me Liu Lao Liu. The man with his elegant and smart bearing smiled. I'm happy to see that Inyang is well. Luckily, Inyang still remembers me. This Lu Baishao was a little too overly familiar, and Lin Qingyu had no desire to get acquainted with such a person. How could I not remember? Pan Shi said with a smile. Shaojun, 6th young master, came to the capital to do business last year, and he lived in the mansion for 3 months. He has a very good relationship with the eldest young master. Oh, so this person and Lu Wancheng originally had a good relationship. Lin Qingyu suddenly had the makings of an idea. He nodded in greeting to Lu Baishao. Lu Baishao asked, Is Wancheng's condition getting better? For my trip to the capital this time, I bought along a lot of precious supplements. I only hope that they may be of help. Lin Qingyu said, If 6th young master has nothing else to do later, you can follow me to visit him at the Blue Wind Pavilion. Lu Baishao said, That's a great idea. The mansion servants were busy moving things and taking the guests to their rooms to settle in. After Lu Baishao was finished settling in, he immediately followed Lin Qingyu to the Blue Wind Pavilion. Before entering the room, Lin Qingyu said, I wish to ask 6th young master to do me a favor. Lu Baishao said politely, Lin Shaojun, I would gladly hear out your request. Lu Wancheng had been in good spirits these past few days, but in order to get out of entertaining the guests, he insisted that he had fallen ill once again, and it was an illness because of which he could not get out of bed. Getting out of bed would mean his death. He thought he could stay well away from these chaotic relatives of his, but he never could have expected that Lin Qingyu would actually lead them to his door. Young Master Hao, your 5th brother, is here to see you. Lu Wancheng put away his casual, careless style and assumed the manner of a noble family's son. Just as he was about to call out fifth brother, he caught sight of the uneasy expression of the person beside Lin Chengyu. He gave it some more thought and let a smile spread across his face. Wife, don't make fun of me. How could this possibly be fifth brother? It's obviously sixth brother. Lin Chingyu's eyes narrowed slightly. He said lightly, "Ah, yes, I was mistaken." Oh, Chingyu was trying to throw a little bit of a bait to see, does he remember everybody and everything or not? So, and our Lua Cheng is also super smart and he picked that bait up and be like, "What are you talking about? What bait? I know everything." Oh gosh. Lu Baishao breathed a sigh of relief and said with a loud laugh, "Didn't I just say so? In any case, I did stay at the Blue Wind Pavilion for 3 months last year. If Wan Cheng were to forget me so quickly, it would simply be too heartless." Lu Wancheng cast a meaning-laden glance at Lin Chingyu and said, making a show of being earnest, "There is no need for sixth brother to worry. Even if you were to turn to ashes, I would still recognize you." These cousins were both the talkative type, and they both bantered with ease. Not the slightest peculiarity could be seen. But this was not enough to completely convince Lin Chingyu. Lu Wancheng never really revealed any flaws in front of others. It was only when he was with his own people that he would openly mention his past. Since Lu Wancheng didn't want to talk, he would simply wait. Besides, it wouldn't be too late to coax and threaten him once he truly grew impatient of waiting. The two chatted happily for a while, then the sound of lively bustle could be heard from outside. Hualu came in and reported that all his relatives who had come today had rushed to the Blue Wind Pavilion, saying they were here to visit the sick. Lin Chingyu clearly saw through their ulterior motives. These people had undoubtedly come rushing for the Hao Mansion's property. To wish the sick was a pretense, and to present a son was their true purpose. Lu Wancheng had married a male wife, and because of ill health could not take on a concubine. He was destined to remain childless. If they could get their youngest son adopted into Lu Wancheng's lineage, there could be endless benefits in the future. Lu Wancheng heard the noise made by the children in the yard and immediately raised his hand to rest his forehead upon it. "Chingyu, I suddenly feel dizzy. I'll have to leave the matter of entertaining the guests to." Lin Chingyu pretended not to hear. Watching salted fish being forced to stick it out from time to time was its own certain kind of fun. "Please have them come in." Lu Wancheng. Dot dot dot. A lot of people came this time, including Lu Wancheng's cousins, nephews, and other descendants. Within the Lu clan, Lu Wancheng's seniority was quite high, and there were some here who would need to address him as grandfather. These people filled the hall to bursting. Lin Chingyu and Lu Wancheng sat in the main seats. Lin Chingyu drank tea, minding his own business, not speaking unless necessary. He had made up his mind to make someone diligent for once. Lin Chingyu looked on coldly, and Lu Wancheng was left with no choice but to brace himself and treat the guests. Although he was not the least bit willing, if he were to force to do it, he would do it flawlessly. There was absolutely nothing that could be criticized of Lu Wancheng's manner, as he performed everything without the slightest breach of etiquette. It looked as though both host and guests enjoyed themselves immensely. "I heard that the one at Xingdai Pavilion still refuses to come out to see anyone." In the end, he's just the son of the second wife. Creating such a scandal, it's only natural he wouldn't have the face to see anyone. As they say, there is a knife above the character of lust. Our ancestors didn't lie to us. Lynching you saw how Lu Wancheng's lips carried a smile, but the impatience in his eyes was almost impossible to hide any longer. He suddenly realized what fun it was to tease salted fish. Perhaps sensing his scrutiny, Lu Wancheng glanced back. In an instant, the impatience in his eyes turned into a refreshing breeze, and no trace of it remained. One of Lu Wancheng's cousins said, trying to flatter him, I think young Master Hao's complexion looks very good. Maybe in just a few days you will be able to make a full recovery. Lu Wancheng smiled and said, I accept your blessing. As soon as you're healthy, you should turn your attention to the matter of producing an heir. What are your plans? The one who spoke was the eldest son of the Lu family, Lu Baoshao's eldest brother. The words were so obvious that Lu Baishao couldn't help frowning, warning aloud. The gay, this is a private matter for young Master Hao and his people. We shouldn't concern ourselves with this. The Lu family's eldest son was apparently not the sharpest tool in the shed, and he said, this is a matter for the Lu family and it is closely related to us. What wrong is there in me asking? I heard that young Master Hao is preparing to take a concubine. Lin Qingyu finally spoke for the first time. Where did you hear that? The Lu family's eldest son said with a smile. Don't take offense, Shaojan. It is perfectly normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. Although young Master Hao is ill, he is still a man, and as a man, he possesses 7 emotions and 6 desires. Lu Wancheng spread out his hands. What 7 emotions and 6 desires can I possibly have with this body? Even if there was, I have given it all to Qingyu. He turned to catch Lin Qingyu's gaze. His eyes seemed to contain an expanse of spring water. Lin Qingyu is my entire passion. What? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's like flirting openly now. I don't think he's lying. I mean, at least, you know, consciously, subconsciously, he likes him in that way. Because, like, every time he looks at him, he's like, "Aw, my wife." Lin Qingyu almost choked on his sip of tea. What is wrong with Lu Wancheng? The guests looked at each other in dismay and then let out heartfelt sighs. What was I saying? Lin Shaojun is of startling talent, with the grace of the wind, a celestial being among men. How can anyone else catch Wancheng's eyes? Oh, they are very much in love, the very picture of marital harmony. Oh, how we envy you. May grandmother and grandfather be on one heart forever. May you live a long and happy life together. Lin Qingyu's forehead twitched. The instigator of this fuss seemed rather guilty and didn't dare look at him. Holding a teacup to cover his face, it was like he was saying, I can't hear anything. Lin Qingyu interrupted the chatter of these cheap grandsons. Young Master Hao, it's time to take your medicine. Everyone wanted to get close to the two of them, but as soon as these words came out, they couldn't be so shameless as to continue to impose on them. They got up one after the other and took their leave. After the guests left, without waiting for Lin Qingyu to say anything, Lu Wancheng made a hiss sound, wrapped his arms around himself, and began to rub wildly. Save me, I'm so greasy. Lin Qingyu didn't know what greasy meant, But after connecting it with the actual situation just now, he formed a vague understanding. He sincerely agreed. Indeed. That evening, Nananha hosted a banquet in the mansion to entertain the guests. Lu Wancheng didn't attend, citing physical discomfort, and Lin Qingyu excused himself, saying that he would be staying in the Blue Wind Pavilion to look after him. The twilight clouds had dispersed, leaving the moon and some scattered stars. The light was bright but silent. Laid out on the stone table in the courtyard were moon cakes, water chestnuts, dates, and pomegranates. There was even a pot of sweet osmanthus wine. However, whether it was the moon cakes or the sweet osmanthus wine, Lu Wancheng couldn't have any of it. He could only look to satisfy his cravings. Oh, I feel so bad for him. After looking at the mooncakes for a while, he turned his eyes towards Lin Qingyu beside him. Looking at a beauty at night had its own distinct flavor. Long hair like a waterfall, clothed like frost, the tear shaped mole at the corners of his eye looked particularly moving under the moonlight. It was a pity a dark quality sufficed the space between the beauty's brows. It seemed he had something on his mind. A worry on one's mind during the Mid Autumn Festival could not be anything but homesickness. Lu Wancheng said, "There are so many people in the mansion now, and it can really be quite annoying. How about we go stay at the Lin residence for a few days and come back once they leave?" Lin Qingyu said, "Your guests are already here, and you, the host, still want to slip away? I have already given them enough face today. It's enough, it's enough." Lin Qingyu declined the comment, holding the wine cup in his hand. He lowered his eyes and asked, "How did you recognize Lu Biashao?" Lu Wancheng said indifferently, "I guessed. I remember the sixth brother and I are on good terms. You bought Lu Baishao by himself, so his relationship with me must not be simple. So I guessed that he was that sixth brother, and sure enough." Lin Qingyu nodded. He poured himself another cup of wine and didn't ask anything else. "Qingyu, this is the first Mid Autumn festival we are spending together, and it's also our last." Lu Wancheng looked at the bright moon in the sky and smiled lightly. "And next year's Mid Autumn at next year's Mid Autumn festival, will you will you still remember me?" Lin Qingyu raised his head and looked at the same bright moon Lu Wancheng was looking at. He said, "Although you and I started off in an ill-fated relationship, as we have kept each other company, I have grown to regard you as a confidant and a close friend. Money is easy to obtain, but friends are hard to find. I will always remember Lu Wancheng." Always remember Lu Wancheng? Lu Wancheng was silent for a long time. Then he suddenly said, "Last time at Chensheng Temple, you asked me if I had other name, and I said no." Lin Qingyu's hand tightened. "Mm, I lied to you. I still have another name," Lu Wancheng said in a deep voice. "I hope you can remember this name." Lin Qingyu's eyes flashed. He seemed to be a little nervous. Lu Wancheng wanted to make the atmosphere lighter, so he started spouting nonsense in a serious sounding tone. "My surname is Chu, and my name is Da Zhuang. Besides Wancheng, you can also call me Big Brother Da Zhuang." Lin Qingyu immediately lost all expression and he got up to leave. "Lu Cheng, why would you do that? It was time to, reveal your original name, but you had to freaking throw a freaking joke? Huh? You just wanted to say that you're big and strong brother? That's it? You just wanted to call him your brother? Oh, come on. Stubborn and unchanging, he must be losing his mind to take someone like this seriously. Lu Wancheng smiled and stopped him. Okay, okay, I will stop teasing you. Actually, my surname is Jiang, and my name is. Before he could finish his words, Hualu interrupted their conversation with an urgent shout. Young Master Hao, Xiaojun, there is someone from the palace. Oh, come on! We just found his surname Zhang. We did not even find his actual name. Oh, people, please stop interrupting them.